what I'm talking about. When I say, lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along. Said, lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along. You know your mama had them, your papa had them too. Just a little birthright gift from me to you. So lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along. Blues ain't nothing but a broken down merry-go-round. You didn't know that, did you, Lynn? Blues ain't nothing but a broken down merry-go-round. No cotton candy, no big-nosed clown, no one to stop you spinning with your feet up off the ground. Come on and lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along. Say hey, woo, ooh, wee, yeah. Say hey, woo, ooh, wee. Say hey, hey, woo, ooh, woo. Go. That's what I'm talking about. Rock-a-bye, baby, rock away your baby blues. Am I talking about my big baby or my little baby?
All right, baby.
Rock-a-bye, baby, rock away your baby blues. That's what I'm talking about. Look in. You rock it to the east, rock it to the west, rock on through the night, baby. Give us all a little rest. Come on. Lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along. Here we go. One of these days, Evan, you're gonna wanna pass the blues along. So one of these days, baby, you're gonna wanna pass the blues along. You're gonna say, hush, little baby, say, don't say a word. Baby gonna wake up singing, sounding like a mockingbird. Come on and lay back, baby, I got to pass the blues along.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. So nice.
Well,
so nice. Yeah, let's give this guy some breakfast for getting up.
On that.
Are we taking a break before?
We're going to take a really short musical break. One more tune from either Chic's album or from Pullman Porter Blues, and we'll be right back with Chic Streetman, who is a hell of a guitar player, a wonderful individual, and he is in the play at the Goodman right now. We'll be right back with more Live from the Heartland in about 2 minutes. We'll do another one.
Yeah, let's start by conversing.
Yes.
This mic here, is that gonna go to the?
Mama got tired of the city, Papa got tired too.
How does that, is that working for you?
What the city folk do.
Yeah, that would be.
Call upon the preacher man, say preacher help us understand. Help us to remember the past, we don't forget how to laugh. We're counting on you.
What are we
Preacher said I got your number. That's right, I think you're on the right track. But I can't take the city to the country, so
and
I have to bring the country back. I bring the wind on the plains and the mountain range and all the little animals too. And pretend though a stranger got home on the range.
And we are back at Live from the Heartland. Oh my goodness.
Katie's starting to jump around up here.
I know. I can't help it when there's good music playing.
We're going to hear some blues.
Indeed. That was just...
Well, good morning, Chick. How are you?
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
It's good to see you up close. I saw pictures of you, but I was sitting in the back row last night at the play, and
was I looking good?
You look good. You're a tall, lean guy there. You played the professor, leader, one of the guys in the band, and I have to say that I always like it when I go to the theater, and and I have to. I want to thank my wife Paige for getting me away from watching sports and news on TV, and going down to the Goodman, to the wonderful Goodman Theater, and we saw Pullman Porter Blues. And we would also thank Lynn Orman, who is one of the team here on the Heartland, for helping to arrange those tickets.
Woo, Lynn!
And but you look good at a distance. You look even better up close. So how are you this morning?
I'm hanging in there. It's a little early for me to be doing this this morning. But
what'd you do after the play last night?
I went home with the bed.
You should be plenty rested.
That's not totally true. I actually had something to eat before I went to bed.
I was hoping for something to eat, but no way.
My wife fixed ramen, but didn't wake me up to eat it. So.
All right, let's keep. Actually, I made myself a couple peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now the truth is out. We just heard you picking and playing something called "Lose It." You are really a skilled picking guitar player, from what I could hear from the stuff Lynn sent me.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah. Home is Seattle now.
Home is Seattle now. I've kind of hit all four corners of the states here. I was born in Augusta, Georgia, raised in Boston, Massachusetts. I lived most of my adult life in Southern California, and now I'm in Seattle.
Wow.
How did you get involved with this production at the Goodman?
Well, I live in Seattle. The Seattle Repertory Theater, in conjunction with the Arena Stage in Washington, D.C., premiered the show. And I've done several shows at the Seattle Repertory Theater in Seattle, and I know Cheryl West, who's the author, the wonderful author of this show. And so when they were putting the show together, I was called to do it. So
I have to tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing the play later, but my mom, my 89-year-old mom, saw it this week with one of her best friends. Someone who was real involved with the fair housing movement in the western suburbs in the 60s, but she was blown away and left it, her friend at least, she said, left it feeling, how could we have done this to those people, this real guilt-ridden thing? And I used it as a chance to talk a little bit about white privilege and not wallowing in self-guilt and all that. But what were you hoping audiences would do in reaction to this wonderfully musically rich play that you're producing?
Well, I think that's a question that is often asked of art or artists, from an audience perspective, what did you want us to get out of this, And I think that what most artists tend to say, and I kind of feel like I'm inclined to want to agree with them, is that, we do what we do, and your take from that is yours, It's like you wouldn't expect Picasso to ask somebody, what do you think of my work here, But he does what he does, and they look at it and they say, oh, that's what it is,
So then the question is, what does it mean to you to be in the Pullman Porter story?
Yeah, for me, it means that it's a whole history. Well, first of all, I had two uncles that were Pullman Porters.
See?
And
there you go.
Yeah, and so it brings that real home for me. In fact, when I have written a story. I've done some story writing and some collaborating with putting sound effects and music into the stories. And one of my stories is called Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie was one of the porters that took me when I was about, I guess maybe 7 or 8, took me on a ride from Boston to New York on the train. And it was, what happened on that particular ride was very interesting, because when he put me on the car by myself, and he was working, and when we got to New York, all the passengers got up to get off, and so I got up to stretch my legs, and I walked, and I saw this wallet sitting in the booth where somebody had been sitting. And so I picked it up and I looked it up, and there were 6 brand new $100 bills, which is a lot of money back in the days.
Heck yeah.
So I thought to myself, well, I guess I better tell Uncle Willie about this. And so Uncle Willie, when he saw the money, he said, boy, we got to turn this wallet in, because when this thing gets back to Boston, they're going to be looking for that money. So okay, so I gave the $600 to Uncle Willie, and about 2 weeks later, Uncle Willie had a brand new car. So I don't think those people ever got that money. But Uncle Louie is a good guy. That's not a put down of Uncle Willie. He was a good guy, and the Porters were awesome.
Go ahead.
So it was a special experience for me, and my mother, who is now 88 years old, is still with us, and she's in Boston. We've been wanting to get her to see this show because she had a direct connection with the Pullman Porters as well, being as both of her brothers. Well, was her brothers, the other was her brother-in-law.
Well, I'm glad that we saw it here in Chicago because it really is. The train ride is from Chicago to New Orleans, and Pullman had a little town on the south side of town where he tried to have the workers be real happy living in these houses. And there is a lot of commotion these days about rebuilding Pullman and I guess making it a tourist destination.
We had the whole cast. We all went down there as a cast to the museum, Pullman Porter Museum, and then the whole area was really amazing, nicely put together.
Yeah, the Florence Hotel.
Special experience, yeah.
And the church. It's an amazing story.
Yeah,
it really is.
It certainly is.
And the fact that a lot of it still stands is a credit to people who fought to make it so.
Right.
The preservationists
absolutely
did a lot of work on that. Let's bring it to the moment here. Indeed. Here's a man who is at home with a guitar in his lap. So you take it away. We're just gonna.
Well, I got my first guitar when I was about 7 years old. Hey, hey. But I had no interest in playing the guitar. When we were 4 children, and my folks, when we would get something, it would belong to all 4 kids. So we'd get a bicycle, and all 4 kids had a bike. But for some reason, my mother came home with the guitar for me and said, "Boy, this is for you." And I thought, well, okay, that's pretty cool. And so it would lay up on the wall next to my bed. I had no interest in playing it. It would sit against the wall, and I would go to sleep looking at my guitar. I just loved the fact that I had something that was my own.
Yeah.
And then one day somebody broke into our house, and they busted up the whole house and busted up the guitar. And I kept thinking, why didn't they just take it or leave it alone? Why bust it up? And my mom said to me at that time, she said, well, sometimes things just don't make no sense. They call that nonsense. But out of nonsense, you make sense. So I wrote this little ditty that goes, I know ain't no sense in complaining, even though there are things you don't understand. And though the sun may still shine when it's raining, I know to keep on doing the best that I can. It takes no sense to make nonsense, but out of nonsense, you make sense. But that's not the song I was going to do.
I'm looking at a very well-worn Gibson here. The frets are live, but all the other edges of the wood are very well worn.
Yeah.
I bet there's some stories that guitar could tell.
This guitar is back from 1960s. So baby, I'm so sorry if I'm mistreating you. Say, baby, I'm so sorry. Ooh, if I'd have mistreating you. I don't know if ever I'm gonna get my message through. Say, baby, I'm so sorry if I've been mistreating you. Now again. Baby, I didn't want to make you just to break you like a wild fillet. Oh, baby, I didn't want to make you just to break you like a wild fillet. I didn't want to hold you just to fold you up and throw you away. Baby, I'm so sorry, but I never mistreat you that way. Say, baby, I'm so sorry. Y'all can say it. If I've mistreated you, there it is. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Here it is. If I've mistreated you, that's it.
All right.
I don't know if ever I'm gonna get my message through. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry
if I mistreated you. Yeah. Look here now. You can trust me or bust me, but don't you treat me like no garbage man.
Oh, no.
Baby, you can trust me or bust me, but don't treat me like no garbage man. Throw it all away for me to clean it up the best that I can. You better recycle me, baby, and use me up over and over again. Here we go. Cause baby, I'm so sorry. Come on. If I've mistreated you. Yeah. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. If I've mistreated you. I don't know if ever I'm gonna get my message through. Cause baby, I'm so sorry if I mistreated you. Now look in, Lynn. Woo, there's just one more thing I really think you ought to know. Oh baby, there's just one more thing I really think you ought to know. I'm just another clown stumbling through your rodeo. Let me put a smile on you, baby, before you really, really let me go. Are you ready? Come on, baby. I'm so sorry if I've mistreated you. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry if I've mistreated you. Aaron, I don't know if ever I'm gonna get my message through. Cause baby, I'm so sorry if I mistreated you. If I've been mistreating you. If I've been mistreating you.
I love it when we get to sing up here on the stage with guests. That was Chic Streetman. He is currently in Pullman Porter Blues there at the Goodman Theater here in Chicago. And Chic, when I was reading through some information about you, I learned that you not only are a professor in the play, but you are a professor at the Seattle Conservatory, or there's a couple of hotshot music outfits up there in Seattle.
I teach at the Seattle Conservatory of Music, and I also teach for the Hyphens International Music Institute in Stanton, Virginia.
Wow, that's quite a commute.
That's good. I don't do it every week. I just do it during the summer in Virginia.
Very good.
And I work with classical musicians, violinists, violists, cellists, pianists, and you might think, well, what in the world do you do with those guys? I mean, but the point is that those guys really practice sometimes 4 or 5 hours a day on their instruments, and so from a point of view of technique, they get really, really, really confident and established. What sometimes happens is that they forget how to enjoy the instrument because they get so wrapped up in the technique. And so my angle with all this is to teach them that they learned this instrument because they had a passion for it, and to remember how to get in touch with that passion, so that rather than hiding behind your technique, you let your personality come through.
We should definitely, Lynn, make sure that he meets Corky Siegel, who is a blues harmonica player par excellence, who plays with the Chamber Blues Orchestra, and has been doing that for 20, 30 years. I'm amazed. I'm sure he's been to Seattle doing that, but we don't wonder when we think of a blues man playing with classics.
Maybe all the future Suzuki students who are learning the violin will have a little blues element mixed in. The question I was going for when I brought up where you teach was that you're noted for positive lyrics and just a good message in your music. And where did you get that, and what point did you decide that your music was not about sadness or anger, but you were going to push like a blissed out perspective, so to speak?
I think that probably comes from the passion that I have to relate to an audience. It probably comes from my mother. My mother sang a couple of times with Fats Waller.
We're getting the real scoop.
When he would take his troops down through Georgia, she was 16, and he would get her up on stage, and she sang with him a couple of times. He actually wanted her to go on the road with him and asked my grandmother if my mother could go with him, and my grandmother said yeah, because she saw money and stardom and fame, and my mother decided not to do it because she was at 16 years old, and she'd have been the only girl with 40 men on the road. She said, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But so we would always do music around the house and sing around the house, and which is why I think I got that guitar. I think she wanted somebody to play music for her so she could sing, But my older brother sings, my younger brother sings, my mother sang, and so we did music around the house. And as I got older and started performing myself, I realized that a lot of what I liked doing was being able to connect and relate with with an audience. And as I did my first record album in France in 1975, and came back to California. And you have to find a way to, to continue making this thing work out. And I started my own little school of performing arts at that time called Chic Streetman School of Performing Arts in Santa Barbara, California. And prior to that, I have a background. I have a degree in psychology, so I worked in a psychiatric unit at the community hospital for a long time.
Can we say Renaissance man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my interest has been working with people, and so my music it tends to want to reflect that, and so that, for example.
Yeah, let's hear some more.
For example, it's
this is live from the Heartland.
I want to get your names again now. It's
Tom, Katie, Michael.
Tom and Katie, Michael, right. This song reflects, I think, Michael, what you were looking at. It's called, well, people ask me, how do you get ideas for your songs? And they come from different places. This one came from a dream. And in the dream, I was singing a little ditty, and I had a friend harmonizing with me. And when I woke up, I said, oh, I got to remember that. And I went back to sleep, and I couldn't remember when I woke up. And I said, So when I went back to sleep, I told myself, wake up, you got to remember this. And I woke up, and I went upstairs and recorded the little ditty, and it became this one. It goes, people, how you doing? Doing. Are you doing the best you can? Katie, are you doing? Doing. Are you doing the best you can?
Hopefully.
When you feel real love from up above, oh so divine, do you thank your lucky stars for being so aligned? And do you comb the sky, wondering why you've been oh so blessed? Do you take it as a sign everything is fine and nothing less? Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Doing, yeah. Are you doing the best you can?
I am trying to do the best.
All we can do, huh? Say, Michael, are you doing? Doing. Are you doing the best you can? Look at now.
I am.
But when you're all alone, down a tone, like an oboe out of tune, do you keep on blowing, knowing you're gonna get it right soon? And if at the end of the day you gotta go on your way, everything is right on track, do you thank the Lord and rest assured, ain't no turning back? Katie, are you doing? Are you doing the best you can?
I will after now.
Katie's set for life now.
Set for life, Katie. Doing. Are you doing the best you can? Now, Lynn, I gotta ask you, baby. Doing. Are you doing the best you can, Lynn? Doing.
Our new theme song for the show.
Really?
Are you doing the best you can?
How about you, Chick?
I'm doing it. Because over the mountain, under the big blue sky, you got a dream awaiting. I can see it in your eye. It may not come easy, but you know you've got a friend. I'll be by your side the entire ride. Just let me hear you say amen.
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 Doing. Are you doing the best you can? Doing. Are you doing the best you can? Tom, are you doing the best you can?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing the best you can?
We are blissed out up here on the live from the Heartland show. Thank you, Chick. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. Now, once again, for anyone who just tuned in, that was Chic Streetman, and he's out of Seattle these days, and he's here in Chicago for the Pullman Porter Blues. How long is that play going to be here?
It's. I think we've just been notified that it's been extended to the 27th of October.
So maybe you and your pals will be hanging out here more. We'll get to hear you.
It'd be fun to come back in and play for the house, you know.
You can
That
hear
would be
Chick's latest
sweet.
work on his latest CD called Lulla Blues. And in listening to you and being part of that last song, you have a way in your lyric to be the second instrument along with your playing.
That's interesting.
Are you consciously, almost in a syncopated sort of way, using your voice to not just do the lyric but also be part of the music?
That's very perceptive of Tom.
Tom is a perceptive dude. That's why we have him up here.
He's also a guitarist.
Okay.
In another life.
So much of my songwriting is totally directly connected to the playing. Some songs without the guitar don't work, because it's precisely what you're saying. It's really directly connected. So the vocal almost is like another instrument that's playing. Like another, for example, this song. It's called. I had this passion for wanting to stop all the shootings and the killings out in the street, So the song is called Guns Away. And it's like a lot of people don't want to hear it, because when I first started dealing with this song, they were, people were talking about, up in Canada, people wanted guns so they could protect their livestock. They said it's survival. But in the inner city, young inner city boys don't want to hear this song because they're thinking like, man, we need guns to survive. Everybody's got them. We need to have them. And I'm thinking, there's something wrong with that,
Yeah.
It's called A Lonely Cry Out in the Street. Tell me who was it this time that left their feet? They said it was your neighbor's boy, a blast from what was once a toy. Tell me how you're going to take the stand against a child who was running with a gun in his hand. A child is only going to do the things that we elders teach him to. Hey, let's take the guns away. Hey, take them all away. Hey, let's put the guns away. Hey, you can't just kill and hang the blame on some poor child's forgotten name. We ought to take every single gun and ship them back to Washington. Cause nothing could be more profound than to sit back and see a little angel go down. Downed by another child out in the cold, prematurely getting old. Hey, woo, let's put the guns away. Hey, put them all away. Hey, let's put the guns away. Hey, we take a bad seed and nurture it, and then we vote it into politics to give us our freedom like a bird. Well, nothing could be more absurd. Don't wait for the time to come around when it's your little boy the police have found. We must declare a peace and harmony. After all, this country, 'tis of thee. Y'all can say, hey, hey. Woo. Let's put the guns away. Hey, hey, hey. Put them all away. Hey, let's put the guns away. Hey, hey. Look here. Too many faces, too many names, too many young minds are cold as claimed. Let's get on down to the root of it, y'all. It ain't about money or power at all. It ain't about freedom and it ain't about turf. It ain't about what your love is worth. It's all about wanting to feel real good. But the fear of failure is killing our neighborhood. Hey, let's put the guns away. Hey, put them all away. Hey, let's put the guns away. Hey.
Chic Streetman.
That was wonderful.
Chic Streetman.
We want to thank a few people. We want to thank Bob Heineman for coming on and talking about the Marriage Equality March coming up. We want to certainly thank Tom Clark for joining us as a co-host today. We want to thank everybody who makes this show possible, including Paul and Mary Wozniak, Rocio, Jay Miller downtown. There's a bunch of other people. And Grant Stesko will be back next week, as will Hal. And we encourage you to do good in the world. Next week we're going to have Tracy Bame and we're going to have Charlie Pierce from Old Number 8. So we'll have a bunch of music. We'll have politics, some of the same things.
And the world needs all the good that you do.
And we say, live it up, do good in the world.
All power to the people.
Over and out. Thanks for tuning in to Live from the Heartland. See you next week. Do good.
Right.
You're listening to 88.7 WLUW Chicago Sound Alliance, broadcasting from the campus of Loyola University.
Wow.
WLUW, WLUW,
Mostly
Gospel Memories.